Hey everybody, welcome to History University. My name is Tom and I'll be your educator for this video. A few months ago I made a video titled The 100 Most Influential People of All Time, and it soon became one of my most popular uploads. So this time I want to break down the most important people in my country, the United States of America. For this video I'll be using a list compiled from a TV show called The Greatest American, which aired in 2005. The show featured biographies of the most influential people in United States history, and culminated in a contest in which millions of people in the audience nominated and voted for the people that they felt like were the greatest American. The 4-part competition was conducted by AOL and the Discovery Channel, and it was reported on by BBC. Now before I go over this list, I want to introduce you to the term recency bias. Recency bias is a cognitive bias that favors recent events over historic ones. It's a memory bias, which gives greater importance to the most recent events. A good example of this is a lawyer's closing argument that they give to the jury before the jury deliberates. These are the last things that the jury considers before making their decision, and they might think it's the most important. So we need to keep in mind that this list is kind of a time capsule as to how people in 2005 thought. Certain events in the early 2000s might have shaped the way that they thought in 2005. Now that I got that out of the way, let's dive right in. At number 25, Neil Armstrong. Armstrong is remembered for being the first man to ever walk on the moon. Number 24 is Henry Ford, the founder of the Ford Motor Company and chief developer of the assembly line technique for mass production. At number 23, we have the Wright Brothers, early innovators to aerial technology and considered the first men to successfully achieve aerial flight. At number 22 is Rosa Parks, a civil rights activist and secretary of her local NAACP for over a decade. In the 1950s in Montgomery, Alabama, it was required by law for African Americans to give up their seats to white people. Parks refused to give up her seat based on race, and she is one of the most important figures in the civil rights movement. At number 21 is Muhammad Ali, a professional boxer, activist, entertainer, and philanthropist. He is nicknamed the Greatest, and he is widely considered one of the best boxers in the 20th century. At number 20 is Lance Armstrong. He is a former professional cyclist, and he is known for winning the Tour de France 7 consecutive times between 1999 and 2005. Now this is where I want to bring in recency bias. It has since been proven that Lance Armstrong used performing-enhancing drugs during his time racing, and of course that doping scandal tarnished his career and stripped him of all of his titles. If this list was made today in 2021 and Armstrong still had those Tour de France titles, I still don't think he'd be on the list because the collective American psyche isn't really revolved around cycling. If anything, someone like Michael Phelps would take his place. At number 19, we have Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady, activist, and diplomat. She's the longest serving First Lady in the country's history. At number 18, we have Bill Gates, an American businessman, software developer, investor, author, and philanthropist. He is the co-founder of Microsoft Corporation. At number 17, we have Bob Hope. Hope was a British-American stand-up comedian, actor, singer, dancer, and author. His career spanned nearly 80 years, and he appeared in more than 70 short and feature films. With 54 of those films, he was the lead of. Number 16, we have President John F. Kennedy. He served as the 35th President of the United States of America, starting in 1961 and went into his assassination in 1963. Kennedy served at the height of the Cold War, and the majority of his presidency was concerned with relations with the Soviet Union and Cuba. At number 15, we have Thomas Alva Edison, an inventor and businessman who has been described as America's greatest inventor. Some of his inventions are in the fields of electric power generation, mass communication, sound recording, and motion picture. At number 14, we have Albert Einstein, the German-born theoretical physicist who immigrated to the US in the 1930s. At number 13, we have Walt Disney, an American entrepreneur, animator, writer, voice actor, and film producer. He was a pioneer in the American animation industry. Disney also holds the record for most Academy Awards earned by an individual, having won 22 Oscars on 59 nominations. At number 12, we have Thomas Jefferson, a statesman, diplomat, lawyer, architect, philosopher, and founding father who served as the 3rd President of the United States of America from 1801 to 1809. Jefferson also previously served as the 2nd Vice President in U.S. history for John Adams between 1797 and 1801. He is the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson was also a proponent of democracy, republicanism, and individual rights, motivating American colonists to break free from Great Britain. At number 11, we have Billy Graham, a prominent evangelical Christian figure and ordained Southern Baptist. And now for your top 10, with number 10 being Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, and the only one to be elected to 4 different terms. This member of the Democratic Party was a central figure in world events during the first half of the 20th century. Roosevelt came into office after the Great Depression and implemented his New Deal domestic agenda. His New Deal coalition often defines modern liberalism in the United States of America. His third and fourth terms were dominated by World War II. At number 9, we have Oprah Winfrey, dubbed the Queen of all media. This talk show host, TV producer, actress, author, and philanthropist is best known for her talk show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, which was broadcasted from Chicago. It was the highest rated television program of its kind during its 25-year run national syndication from 1986 to 2011. At number 8, we have Elvis Presley, a singer, musician, and actor. He's regarded as one of the most significant cultural icons of the 20th century and is often referred to as the King of Rock and Roll. At number 7, we have President Bill Clinton, a lawyer and politician who served as the 42nd President of the United States from 1993 to 2001. At number 6, we have George W. Bush, a politician and businessman who served as the 43rd President of the United States of America from 2001 to 2009. At number 5, we have Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States of America. He was a writer, printer, political philosopher, politician, Freemason, postmaster general, scientist, inventor, humorist, civic activist, statesman, and diplomat. If you want to learn more about him, I already have a video in which I call him the American Da Vinci. I highly recommend you check that out because Franklin is a very interesting guy. At number 4, we have George Washington, a political leader, military general, statesman, and founding father who served as the first president of the United States of America from 1789 to 1797. Previously, he led Patriot forces to victory in the nation's war for independence. He presided at the Constitutional Convention of 1787, which established the U.S. Constitution and federal government. At number 3, we have Martin Luther King, an African-American Baptist minister and activist who was the most visible spokesperson during the American Civil Rights Movement. King advanced civil rights through nonviolence and civil disobedience inspired by Christian beliefs and nonviolent activism. At number 2, we have President Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln was an American statesman and lawyer who served as the 16th president from 1861 until his assassination in 1865. Lincoln led the nation through the American Civil War, the country's greatest moral, cultural, constitutional, and political crisis. He succeeded in preserving the Union, abolishing slavery, and bolstering the federal government, as well as modernizing the U.S. economy. And at number 1, we have President Ronald Reagan, an American actor and politician who served as the 40th President of the United States of America from 1981 to 1989. He became a highly influential voice of modern conservatism. Before I conclude this video, I'd like to know your thoughts on who would be on this list if we made it today in 2021. A few people that I would add based off of my perspective of American culture today would be Barack Obama and Donald Trump. The reason being, both of them served as presidents of the United States, and you see this list is heavily skewed towards US presidents. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. I'd love to know your thoughts on this video. Please leave a comment down below on who you think should be added to this list. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good day.